Salve, we're back with lines 271 to 278 from Book 4. This is continuing Mercury's speech to Aeneas, and he's already chastised him briefly for building Carthage when he should be building his own kingdom and his own destiny. And he told him that ipse regnatur, Jupiter himself, has sent him. So here he continues and then leaves off and vanishes in tenuem auram, into thin air, as we will see. Quid struis, aut qua spe libicis terris otia terris. We'll just do that first. What are you building? Or what are you planning, you could even say. Or, and by the way, the subject is to, right? Because I got the S, and that's our verb. Aut qua spe libicis terris otia terris. Terris comes from terro terere, which means to wear away, to waste. And in this sense, it means to waste time. So let's say it like this. Or with what hope? Okay, now that's ablative. With what hope do you terris? Do you wear away your otia, your leisure, or your idleness? And that's accusative. This is plural. Your leisures, it's a poetic plural here, comes from the word otium, which means leisure, and as opposed to negotium, which is business or busyness. So here we go. Or with what hope, ablative, do you wear away your leisures, libicis terris, in the Libyan lands? And that's ablative. Libicis terris. And you got to put an in with that to make it make sense. It's an ablative of place. And I like how you wearing away your leisure is literally in the Libyan lands. Makes a nice word picture here. Libicis terris otia terris. Si te nulla movet tantarum gloria rerum, nec super ipse tua moliris laude laborem, ascanium sergentet spes heredes Iuli, respice cui regnitaliae Romanaque tellus debetur. So if nulla gloria, there's your subject, if no glory, movet, moves, te, you, accusative, and it's no glory of tantarum rerum, of such great things, like that. If no glory of such great things moves you, right there. Meaning, if the glory of the future Rome doesn't move you and you're just hanging out here, well, that's a problem, right? So if no glory of such great things moves you, nec and not, okay, nec super ipse tua molires laude laborem, and moreover, and in addition, super. Remember, the et is in the nec here, and there's a non in there also. Nec is et and non in one word. Whoops. Make that a little neater there. Okay. And in addition, if you yourself, now ipse is you yourself, because, why is it you? Because you got the moliris, the you form of the verb here. And if you yourself, gotta think to is the subject here. And if you yourself do not, here's where that not comes in, do not moliris, do not make this laborem, this work. And this work is to found the new Rome. If you're not going to do what you're supposed to do to found the new Rome, okay? And in addition, if you yourself do not do this work, tua laude, ablative, for your own praise, or on a, by your own praise, you should be doing it for yourself, but if you don't care, okay, then you're going to consider this stuff down here, Ascanius, your son. Okay, so one more time. See, if no glory, of such great things moves you, and moreover, or in addition, if you yourself do not do this work for your own praise, respice, consider or look back at, regard, Ascanius, surgentem, rising, meaning he is growing, becoming a man. Growing Ascanius, or rising Ascanius. Now this is a present active participle, has the nt, so it's present, and it's accusative because it modifies Ascanius. Third declension, present active participle follows third. Ascanius is a second declension, so you have here, m here. Consider Ascanius rising up, and the space, Heredes Iuli, and the hopes of Heredes Iuli, of the heir Iulus. Now remember, this is genitive for one thing, of the heir Iulus, the hope that he will become king of this new land. And remember, Ascanius and Iulus are the same person. It's just the poets like variety, and Vergil always is using more than one name if it's possible. So, consider rising Ascanius, or growing Ascanius, and the hope of the heir Iulus. Saying it in these two different ways adds more detail and more interest to Vergil's subject, gives it more of an epic flavor. Epic poets always tend to over-describe things when they want to really emphasize something. So this gives it this grandness of epic here, when Vergil uses different names for saying the same thing. Cui reg Nitaliae Romanaque telus debetur. To whom? Now remember that cui, that's a interrogative pronoun that's dative. To whom, and then we got some subjects, the regnum, the kingdom, and that is a neuter. Italiae, of Italy, that's the genitive, first declension. The kingdom of Italy, goes with that. And the Roman land, oh, that was a subject, sorry. And the Roman land, debetur, are owed. Debeo, debere, it's a second conjugation. Debetur, tur is a passive ending. And it means both these things, but it's a singular ending here. Third person singular, passive, present, active, indicative, from debeo, debere, debui, debitus. To whom the kingdom of Italy and the Roman land are owed. Paraphrase of this: if you're not going to go found Italy for yourself, Aeneas, then at least do it for your son and your heirs. You owe it to them, because they deserve the kingdom of Italy and the Roman land, not Carthage. And that's it. Mercury stops there. Tali Celenius ore locutus, mortales visus medio sermone reliquit, et procul in tenuex oculis evanuit auram. The Silenian one, which means Mercury, because he was born on Mount Silene, so the Silenian one, Here again, you got that epic variety, right? We don't just say Mercurius, the Kelenius, the Selenian one. Having locutus, having spoken, that is perfect deponent participle from locor. Locor, an important deponent verb. So we translate locutus as having spoken. Usually perfect passive participles we translate as having been, and then verbed, blank ed. But this one, when it's deponent, it always has active meaning, so having spoken. It's active in meaning, locutus. And you notice it doesn't have an est with it because it's not a full verb here. If it had est, it'd be the Selenian one spoke, but since it's just locutus, the Selenian one, comma, having spoken, and then we're going to see our main verb is down here. So having spoken, tali ore, ablatives, with such a mouth, literally, or with such words is what it means, because words come out of your mouth. So the Selenian one, having spoken with such a mouth. Reliquit, left behind, or leaves, left behind. It's perfect, active. Mortales visus, mortal visions. Medio sermone, in the middle of his sermone, in the middle of his speech. Now that's a little exaggerated to say that he left in the middle of his speech. You say, hey, wait a minute, he finished his speech. But it just is a way of saying he left very fast. He spoke, boom, he was out of there. So the Selenian one, having spoken with such a mouth, left mortal visions in the middle of his speech, and from afar, procul, in tenuex oculis evanuit auram. He vanished. Ex oculis, that's ablative, place from where? From the eyes, meaning ainei, of Aeneas. Got to add that in. From the eyes of Aeneas, in tenuem auram, into thin air. And that's a Shakespeare expression that Shakespeare gets from Vergil, I'm assuming. Into thin air, he just vanished into thin air. We use that expression frequently. So here we go, one more time. The Selenian one, having spoken with such a voice or such a mouth, left behind mortal visions in the middle of his speech, and from afar he vanished from the eyes of Aeneas, understood, into thin air.